Hey guys, this is part 3 of my Japan photo series. After Osaka and Kyoto, I wrap up the trip in Tokyo. Just walking around, exploring and taking photos with my Fujifilm X100VI. In this video, I'll share the shots I took in Tokyo and talk a bit about what the experience was like there. We started our journey to Tokyo in the morning and we're going to ride a Shinkansen, which was a first for me.
Everyone's climbing faster and faster, rates that'll reach the moon. Seemingly joyous, near and their laughter, flaunting the things they know.
We booked a reserved seat to get a good view of Mount Fuji, but unfortunately, it was cloudy at that time.
Love is something to do, 'cause if you go on about your success.
Eventually, we arrived in Tokyo and went to have a lunch at Denny's. We made our way to Sensoji Temple, and even at that time, it was already crowded with tourists. It was peak season after all. I took a few shots around the area, and while it was definitely a challenge to find something visually interesting in such a packed space, I pushed myself to capture some photos nonetheless.
Felt the water on my toes and seashells there. I think how I loved you. How I loved you. Then we were in California.
This is one of the most interesting photos I took at Sensoji Temple. I love how it captures multiple layers in a single frame. The bustling crowd in the foreground, the smoke rising from the incense burner in the center, and the majestic temple structure in the background. It really reflects the energy, tradition, and spirituality of the place all at once.
I'll be here when you come home. I'll be here.
We walked from Sensoji Temple to the Sky Tree, and on the way, I found this view. The Sky Tree is framed between two buildings, which I thought looked kinda cool. At the same time, it feels a bit messy, maybe because there's a lot going on in the shot. Overall, it's an okay photo. I think it has potential. Maybe if I crop it tighter or clean it up a bit. Just one of those shots that could be better with a little more work.
3 months passed and there you were, a smile on your face. I picked you up into my.
We finally made it to the Tokyo Sky Tree. I tried out a few different angles to show off the height of the tower, and in some of the shots, I included flowers in the foreground. I thought it might make the photos more interesting, but looking at them now, the flowers are kind of distracting. Nothing really stands out, but overall, they're not bad. Just photos that might need a bit of tweaking.
Promised one another that we never say goodbye. We were lying.
We're now at the top of the tower. It was close to sunset when we got there, but it was pretty cloudy, so the sunset wasn't really visible. The place was also packed with people, which made it tough to get clear shots of the view, but I still managed to take a few.
I'll be here when you come home. I'll be here when you come home. I'll be here when you come home.
The next day, we went on a day trip to Mount Fuji. It's one of the two main things we did in this video. Since it's our first time in Japan, visiting Mount Fuji felt like a must. We didn't want to miss it. As for the second one, well, you'll see later in the video.
I've been chasing my whole life, though I'm tired as I ever been. I'm not giving up the fight.
They clean their bodies at this mountain, this place, 8 months.
Today
The view of Mount Fuji wasn't very clear since it was a cloudy day, but we still had a few more spots to visit and we were hopeful we'd get a decent shot of the mountain later on. We arrived at the second location, but Mount Fuji still wasn't very visible. I took some photos anyway and managed to get these shots. I had to edit this in post to make Mount Fuji slightly more visible. Overall, I think they look okay, and I still believe I'll get the perfect shots at the final location.
Lost track of the things you hold back. I've searched your mind.
This iconic view, where we even had to line up just to get in, features Mount Fuji, the Pagoda Temple, and cherry blossoms all in one frame. Unfortunately, it was very cloudy at that time, so I couldn't fully appreciate it. We made our way to our final location, hoping to get a good view of the mountain. And when we finally arrived, this is what greeted us. Although it was packed with tourists, I still love that the mountain was no longer shy. The people in the foreground made the photo feel natural, especially with the cherry blossoms adding to the scene. This is the best photo I took of Mount Fuji. I cleaned it up a bit in post to emphasize the mountain. I love how scenic it is, with Mount Fuji as the main subject, framed beautifully by cherry blossoms and complemented by the river or lake in the foreground. I also took some photos of the cherry blossoms in the area. They were in fuller bloom here compared to when I was in Osaka and Kyoto, so I took the opportunity to capture more shots of them. We stopped by the famous Lawson with a view of the mountain. It was a bit underwhelming because it was cloudy and I didn't really have a great angle at the time. I later realized I should have crossed the street to get a fuller view of the mountain. The crowd of tourists didn't help either, but I cleaned that up in post and ended up with this photo. It definitely feels like an expectation versus reality moment, but I was already satisfied with the photos I took earlier.
Every day.
The next day, we started off by visiting Gotokuji Temple, also known as the Lucky Cat Temple.
Before we hear what they have to say, headline breaks and we start to hate again, calling them names again. We give our peace away. I hope they see it, 'cause I wanna see it. I hope we believe it. I wanna see the love.
Today was a more relaxed day, as our plan was to explore Shibuya and Harajuku, do some window shopping, and experience the famous Shibuya crossing.
Run far from a broken home. Smile through the great unknown.
We made our way to an overlook of the Shibuya crossing. Honestly, if you ask me, it's just a regular crosswalk with a lot of people. But since it's a popular tourist spot, we figured, why not check it out? We spent the night wandering the streets of Tokyo, and while editing the footage from all 3 Japan videos, I realized I barely took any photos of Japan at night. It was a bit of a bummer, especially since Japan's night streets are so iconic. But hey, it's something to look forward to when I come back. On our final day in Japan, we had one main activity planned, which you'll see at the end. But before that, we visited Tokyo Tower and explored Shinjuku. Our main and final activity before ending our trip to Japan was riding the go-karts. We drove through some of the Tokyo's popular spots and it was an absolute blast, cruising and enjoying the city streets in such a fun and unique way. That's it for the Tokyo part, and that also wraps up the whole Japan series. It's been really cool to look back on the trip through these photos. Thanks for watching and coming along for the ride. I got more stuff in the works, so if you enjoyed this, feel free to stick around. And as always, peace.